Hello there, YouTube. It has been a while. I have not made a video all summer. Don't know why that is. Don't really have a reason for it, but I just wanted to do a little kind of catch-up type video, type vlog, maybe, to update you what I've been up to over the summer and kind of get everything up to speed and get all of my progress, like, on the books, so that I can vlog about, like, Preptober and Nano stuff coming up without having this huge, weird gap in the middle. So, I left you with the information about my main project kind of coming to a stopping point. I was waiting on beta feedback for that, which I have gotten. And then I was going to start kind of brainstorming and planning and plotting a new project, which I did. So, the main project is called Second Sight, so that I don't have to keep saying main project and new project, because that's just going to get confusing for everyone. So, Second Sight went through a round of revisions and then a round of beta feedback. The feedback I got was that the beginning, the main character wasn't hitting the way that I wanted. She was reading very young and overly emotional, and that's fine, but that's not the character I was trying to write. I think I was over dramatizing everything that she did, and, like, her emotional swings were just really, like, over the top. And that's just not the character I wanted to write, because it made certain reactions and decisions later on feel very out of place. So I rewrote the entire first act last month. So that was... I was gonna say that was fun in an ironic way, but it was actually, like, I think a really good experience as well. Because the original first act that I had in there was from my very, like, early days as, my very early days of trying to write again as an adult. Like, that was the very first writing that I did coming back to this. And it sucked. So I think that it was really kind of cool to see how different my ideas were for the first draft, or for the first act of this story compared to my ideas back then, which is, I guess, 3 years ago now. Or 2 years ago, whatever, it doesn't matter. It was cool in a way. It was also, I guess, a little bit demoralizing. Like, oh my god, this is terrible. This is the worst thing I've ever read. This is a giant flaming garbage pile. But at the same time, the whole time I was reading through it again and, like, doing these revisions and thinking about the new beginning that I wanted to write, it was also like, this is so much better. The new version is so much better. Like, maybe it's terrible in different ways, but at least it's terrible in different ways, right? Like, it's not terrible in the same ways, meaning I haven't progressed at all in my writing. I have progressed, at least in some way. Whether that's a good direction or bad, I don't know. But progress has happened. Yeah. So that's second site. The new project, codename LFB, that got plotted 70% of the way. I'm doing a new kind of outlining method, and I really want to make videos about that method in like October, like for Preptober, because I'm doing something that I think might be helpful for people like me who fall kind of in the middle of like planners versus pantsers, because I'm not like incredibly super gung-ho on, you know, plotting every detail of every scene, but I definitely need there to be some kind of like skeleton to like guideposts to lead me through the plot points of my story. But I don't want to get like deep into the nitty gritty of every scene, because then like as I'm writing, if I don't follow all of those details, then I get like flustered and anxious about like, oh no, I'm not following my outline anymore. How do I get it back on track? And then I wind up like shoehorning in some weird thing that didn't need to be there in order to swerve it back over to my outline. So that's stressful and not helpful. So I think that... Hi, Betty. Are you gonna come say hi? You can't meow off frame. You have to be in the video now. Hello, Fox. So plotting out the no, don't get up by the camera. Plotting out the kind of vague overarching plot points, but not like drilling too far down into the details, is, I think, my sweet spot. I mean, obviously that's going to change with every project. That's going to morph over time, and that's fine. But this is what I'm doing now, and I'm using a tool called Airtable to do this. And I'm combining several different structure kind of methods. Hi. And then using Airtable to keep it organized. So I want to share how I'm doing that and how I'm using Airtable, which is like a database thing similar to Notion, except I just know how to use Airtable better than I know how to use Notion. So I think Notion's probably the more common one, and I'm sure that you can do this exact same thing in Notion. I just am more familiar with Airtable, and I like the aesthetic better. Anyways, so the other thing that I have been doing over the summer is a DIY creative writing class. My writing group, which is just 3 people, have gotten together to like follow this syllabus that a professor who teaches in MA programs and has like a master class and does workshops and that sort of thing. He put together his syllabus for an MA program. So he put together list of readings and textbooks and writing exercises and kind of organized everything so that amateurs can go through it and read the readings and have discussions and give feedback to each other. So we exchange our writing for the writing exercises and give feedback to each other, which in my opinion is the most valuable piece of this. So I will leave a link to that DIY MA down in the description below, and I think everyone should do it. Everyone who's like me that didn't have an opportunity to have a formal writing education. People like me who maybe took a creative writing class or two in high school and then never followed up with it, this has been really helpful. I mean, it's absolutely not a replacement for an actual college level course in creative writing, because you're not getting professional feedback and you're not getting, kind of guided discussion questions. It's all left to the participants, who are all amateurs, obviously. But I think it's really cool, and it's certainly been helpful in pushing me to try new things and to read things that I wouldn't otherwise have read. So that's another thing that I want to do another video about later, kind of doing a deep dive into the class that we've done so far, and how it's helped, and kind of the way that we've interpreted some of these writing exercises. And I'm going to post, at least this is my intention right now, I'm going to post some of my writing on my website. So that's another thing that's developed over the summer, is that I have launched my website, which is rosewilsonwrites.com. And it's mostly just a blog right now, but I'm intending to post some of my writing to that blog, and I don't know, maybe get some more feedback, or maybe we could do like an exchange and have some other people respond to these writing prompts. I think that would be really fun to see other people's interpretations of the writing prompts. That's always kind of the most fun thing of the writing classes. When we exchange our writings, we always see different interpretations of the intention of the writing prompt, and it's always like, oh man, I wish I had thought of that when I started writing mine, because that's definitely a cooler way to go with this prompt. And then everybody says the same thing about everybody else's, so it's always fun to see the alternatives that you could have taken. And for every person who responds to a writing prompt, there's always, everybody's going to have a unique interpretation and go in a different direction than everybody else. And you're never going to get kind of the same style or the same direction, I guess. So I'm going to post some of my writing to the website, to my blog, and I'm going to start doing some other like things that aren't big enough to make a video about. I'll make a blog post about them. Like, I'd like to do little mini posts about maybe how I use my bullet journal for writing. Hi, buddy. Or posts like, I read this new writing book and here's what I thought of it. Or I found this blog or this website that was really cool and helpful to me and I wanted to share it. You know, things that maybe just don't deserve an entire video. I will make a blog post about them. And if there's any like news or updates about my writing, maybe it'll go there. But anyway, so I'll leave a link to that below. And I'm not sure if this is how I'm going to use it going forward, but I also put information on my website about like my current works in progress and the fact that I'm seeking feedback on Second Sight. So I put a form on my website that allows you to like submit your email address and stuff and then say, hey, I'm interested in beta reading for Second Sight. And I don't know how many people are going to take me up on that, but I'm totally into the idea of doing a trade. So if you have a novel of your own, or maybe a first act of your own that you would like beta feedback for, fill out my form and we can trade. Because I think the more feedback, the better. That's definitely been the main takeaway for me from the DIY class that we're doing. That feedback is just, I think, absolutely critical in getting better at writing. So I've really been enjoying that aspect of it. So yeah, second sight revisions going well. Need to, I know for sure I need to rework the main character's kind of arc, and rework her characterizations. Like I mentioned earlier, she was just coming across as really like young and overdramatic, which is just was not my intention for her. So I need to rework a lot of her kind of reactions to things throughout the story and give her a clearer arc. And I also plan to rework her relationship with the main side character, or like the main love interest, because it seemed like just kind of rushed and awkward. So those are two things that I know for sure I'm going to do with the next revision. And beyond that, I'm waiting for my beta reader feedback on the new Act 1, and then the rest of the like story that I gave them the entire first draft, and then I'm calling the new beginning that I've written, the new Act 1 that I've written, Draft 2. So they have Draft 2 and Draft 1 at this point, which is definitely not gonna cause any issues for anyone. We'll see. So anyway, I'm waiting to dive any further into revisions until I get that feedback. So in the meantime, I'm going to be working on LFB, which, like I said, I have it kind of like, we'll say 70% outlined, but I would like to talk about how I'm using Airtable as my outline / scene cards. And in Preptober, I'm going to do a little bit more outlining, maybe make sure I have some character details hammered out, do a little bit of world building and stuff like that. Make sure I'm ready to start drafting that in November for NaNoWriMo. I'm super excited for NaNoWriMo. I don't know if I know how to draft anything anymore. Like, it has been so long since I've done any like true zero drafting. Even the drafting that I did for Second Sight last month, you know, it was in like a pre-established story, so it didn't feel like drafting really. It felt like revising. So it's going to be like a whole new world to get back into a fast draft or zero draft of anything, of something new, which I'm excited and also nervous for. So yeah, I think that's everything on my list. Like, Second Sight revision still in progress, except it's the second revision now. LFB is trucking along in terms of planning and plotting and outlining and brainstorming and whatnot. DIY MA is ongoing and a lot of fun, and I'll leave information about that below. And NaNoWriMo, upcoming. I am hoping to make a lot of content both here and on my blog, on my website, about both Preptober and NaNoWriMo. I'm thinking about doing weekly vlogs for Nano. don't know if I can commit to that quite yet, but that's my intention. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know, how are your writing projects going? How has your progress been over the summer? And what are you going to do for Nano? That's the next big topic of conversation, which is going to fill everyone's entire rest of the year, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and check out my website maybe, and I'll see you around for the next one. Bye.